Well, it's episode 30 of Camellia City, and yes, it's been a while, and Merry Christmas, and welcome back to the podcast. I am so excited about this. I don't know if I'm going to get everything in time, but my name is Denan Whidden, and I'm in love with Greenville, Alabama, the most magical town in Alabama, and I wanted to celebrate Greenville, invite you to come visit Greenville if you've never seen it. And yes, for you Northerners, you would say it Greenville. Down here we say Greenville, Alabama. And you're more than welcome to come visit and see that this town is, it feels and looks like you're inside a Hallmark movie. And I'm going to explain that. I'm going to prove my point to you. In case you're doubting me right now, this is the most magical town I have ever been in. And I've been around a little bit, you know. So what I'm going to do is, look, there's a lot of areas of Greenville. Greenville's a large area town, but I'm just going to talk about the downtown to prove my point this time around. There's so many beautiful areas everywhere in the city limits and outside the city limits of Greenville. But what I'm going to do is take you up and down Commerce Street, our main street, and prove to you that you're living in a freaking Hallmark movie when you live here. Okay, so we're going to start on the east end of Commerce Street with our historic courthouse. We have this beautiful, in the middle of the street, rotund, 3-story, 4-story, I don't know how tall it is. It's a big old building, courthouse, and it's very old. And my dreams for that building one day is that it's our county museum, that it becomes a museum. It's a little dated, you know. I don't even think they have an elevator in the building, and wouldn't be able to put one in if they tried, maybe. I don't know. But a lot of things happened in that courthouse. Oh my God, let me tell you. Hank Williams, you know, who is from our county, was divorced in that courtroom. And the story is that Miss Audrey was on the stand saying, "Your Honor, I just can't live with a man that shoots at me." To which a drunk Hank Williams replied, "Well, that's all right, because I don't want to live with a woman I got to shoot at." Is that true? I don't know. But I've heard it several times. Maybe it's true. In the Hallmark movie version, it's true. So the sheriff's office is there, so the clerk's office, so many offices are there, the judges, you know, we actually have court going on there too. And we actually had a county sheriff taken hostage and shot in the foot there. Oh, there's all the stories of our historic courthouse. The county hanged a dead man there. He was already dead, but damn it, we strung him up anyway. And that's in another podcast if you haven't heard the story of that one. Okay, so it's a beautiful courthouse. When you visit town, please go see it. It's a pretty amazing thing that we have. So as you move out of the courthouse, and we're going to head west now, you'll see this really beautiful building. It's the Cap's Drugstore building, and in the bottom floor is a Taekwondo studio that's very active, and we have a slew of award-winning, trophy-winning Taekwondo kids and adults there. It's very good. See, there's a lot of things you can do when you move to Greenville, is what I'm saying, and your kids can do when you move to Greenville. Upstairs, Mr. Archie Woodruff has taken that building and turned it into luxury, and I do mean luxury apartments overlooking downtown. And he's got quite a few of those, but these are really just captivating, just gorgeous. So just down from there is our very own yoga studio, in which Miss Sonia Rice, Liza Berry, Jeannie Cobb, Jen Coughlin are teaching yoga, Pilates, meditation, aerial yoga, hanging from, it's just a beautiful, beautiful place, and a place that helps so many people in Greenville. So we have our own yoga studio. I mean, just imagine with me, as you're going with me through town, all of the scenes in a Hallmark movie that happen here every day. It's ridiculous. If Hallmark ever finds out about this podcast, they'll send scouts down here. Because the scouts who come down here, if they walked around with me, they wouldn't believe what every single person from out of town that I have taken around town is like, this is like a freaking Hallmark movie. Like, they're shocked at how amazing the town is. And yes, I'm going to skip over some things because I'm just going to forget to mention something important. I know. So I'm going to go ahead and apologize for that. One of the things that people from out of town freak out over is our hardware store downtown. And the reason why is because when you walk in, it feels, even though everything's new and everything is in that store, but it feels as if you've walked into a hardware store in the 1940s or 50s. The floor, it's so freaking charming. I got keys made there the other day. And by the way, just the service you get downtown and the old characters that are in there, and it's just, well, it's like a movie, I guess. So as you continue down, and I hope don't let me forget Court Square Cafe. So across from the courthouse is Miss Patty's Court Square Cafe, breakfast and lunch, and we're talking old style diner type eating there, home cooked food, amazing, great food. Some of the best stories of the old guys that sit around that place in the mornings and for lunch I have heard. And one of my favorite stories, I don't think I've told this before, is when the old guys are sitting at the table looking out towards the courthouse. I don't know if I should even tell this. So they see a wedding party coming out of the courthouse. And they don't realize it, but it's a same-sex marriage, female same-sex marriage wedding happening. Or had just happened. And they're seeing people take pictures, and they're like, what is that? I'm making up name. Jim? Well, I don't know. Bob, looks like somebody got married. And then two women start kissing each other, and everybody's taking pictures. Oh, Lord. And they're like, well, I'll be damned. I guess it's a couple of lesbians. How did they? Lisbons. And then just the way the old guys people watch out that window, totally hilarious. But great food, and also something you would see. You wouldn't believe it existed unless you saw it. This old place to eat that has amazing food, and the people who work there are amazingly sweet and wonderful too. Okay, so you're traveling west, and we're walking west. Miss Sonia's dance studio is on that side of town. There's lawyers' offices all over the place. The historic and amazingly beautiful Catholic Church is there. Keep walking down. You've got law offices. And then begins, right before the Presbyterian Church, a beautiful historic home. And then across from that beautiful historic home are our three ladies. And our three ladies are also beautiful historic homes, quite large, and something to see in town. And there's some stories with those homes too, for sure. So as you're moving downtown, you're going to see Confederate Park. Yes, it is still called Confederate Park. Yes, there is still a Robert E. Lee type. It's not Robert E. Lee actually, but there's a statue that commemorates, just some generic Confederate soldier there. The park is not owned by the city. It's privately owned, and that's why it still bears the name and still has the statue. It's a privately owned park. But let me tell you something. So many amazing, wonderful, beautiful things happen in that park. Christmas celebrations. I just saw the other day caroling and Christmas storytelling. Everybody congregates there for the Christmas parade. I've seen, and I've told this story before, I've seen a black family reunion there. City Fest will happen there. It is an idyllic and the most beautiful park you can imagine. And it has it just has benches and a fountain. That the fountain is there. It's not doing water, but it's still beautiful. Lights right now. It's covered in Christmas lights, and a Christmas tree is there. It's absolutely gorgeous. What you see on the picture is across from the park, and that's our historic city hall, where the mayor's office is, and also another beautiful building. So moving down, you've got the post office. Across from the post office is my little shop. And what I love about being in that building where my shop is located at 100 East Commerce Street is that that building was originally an opera house. Yes, we had this beautiful, gorgeous opera house in Greenville. Now, it burned twice. And even though it burned twice, once when it was City Hall, once when it was a fire station. First, I believe, City Hall, then a fire station. Is that the first floor has always remained. So I am in the first floor of the building. It only has one floor of usable space at this point. So it still stands, even though it's burned twice. And it is the most magical little corner in town because it's right where East Commerce and West Commerce meet. It's like the center point of downtown. And I see some of the most amazing things. Well, not only do I have wonderful people coming in to see me all the time, but I watch what goes on at the post office. And one of the greatest things is how people come together at the post. All kinds of random people meet up at the post office just randomly. And I see them all smiling, saying hello, Merry Christmas, opening doors for each other. It's idyllic. Just amazing. Now, I've seen some crazy stuff out that window, too. But, just saying, you can't be in that area of town and watch all the traffic and the people going by and not just feel like you're just in a happy place. Wonderful place. So now we're going to hit West Commerce Street. So when you cross over, we have the most beautiful historic theater where, even you could rent out the theater and throw a show if you wanted because the city runs it. It is the Ritz Theater, and we see the Ritz shows there, the putting on the Ritz, the Christmas shows. There's beauty pageants there. It is a lively, functioning, historic theater, something that a lot of towns don't have now. And we are so amazed and blessed to have. So when you visit Greenville, please ask the city for a tour because they'll set up a tour for you for sure. It's just beautiful. Bring your show to whatever show you've got. Bring it to Greenville. You can play at the Ritz, So, in our post office, this historic building, of course, what used to be a cow farm is now the post office building. Many years ago, Mr. Tom Braxton told me that. He's quite the historian in town. We have a lot of historians in town, and I've learned a lot of these stories from them. Some I can't repeat because they involve people who are still living. Okay. So, as you go downtown, you have got, on the same side as the Ritz Theater, something I am so very proud to have in our town, and that's the Alabama Grill. It is an amazing restaurant in a building that was the old Alabama Grill, has now been refurbished, has some of the best food you'll eat in the entire state of Alabama. Run by Risa Bates. Please, please go eat there if you haven't tried yet. It is an experience, and you will absolutely love it. My favorite thing from there at night is the steak. During the daytime is the hamburger. Oh, yeah. So there's lots of shopping, and I have forgotten. I just want to put in a little plug for the Last Blossom, which is actually on the other side of the courthouse. If we went back to where I started, is a great boutique shop over there with really affordable clothes and for all sizes, which is great. So let's go back to the shopping. So we're headed back down East Commerce Street, and you will find the loveliest little boutique, True South Outfitters. Then our what I would say is our most famous little shop, the Pineapple, which is just home goods and gifts and just fun stuff, things that make you happy. I buy a lot of presents for other people there. It's just been there for a long time, and nothing but quality, really quality goods there. Speaking of quality goods, Johnson Furniture is down there as well, and I'm talking like nice, really nice, great price furniture. So there's so many open areas that they have decorated for Christmas as well. Hey, and you know what? I'm going to tell you, I've been to a lot of Goodwills in my life, but our Goodwill has some of the best stuff I have ever seen in my life. So whoever's donating y'all's fancy stuff over at the Goodwill, thank you. Because, I've been to some crappy Goodwills, but our Goodwill downtown has like really nice stuff with like tags still on it, just FYI. I also found one of the most unusual things I've ever seen in my life, which was a ceramic Tanuki doll. If you don't know what a Tanuki doll is, you may want to look this up, because you won't believe me that it is a raccoon dog from Japan who, in cartoons and little stories about it, can make his giant scrotum even bigger and fly with it. I know it sounds like I'm making that up, but I couldn't really. I had to look it up. So I bought the Tanuki statue for $7 at the Goodwill, and turns out it's like a very hard to find thing from probably back in the 50s, and quite the collectible if you're into that, giant scrotum raccoon dogs. Anyway, it's in my shop if you want to come see the Tanuki dog, raccoon, bear thing. And I can tell you the story of it, but you can look it up too. So, yeah. And I've also found a really amazing Buddha statue there too once. So there's all kinds of wacky doodle stuff at the Goodwill. I encourage you to go. Now, I don't know the name of this shop that's down from Goodwill, but there is also like kind of a variety store, of thrift store kind of place just down from there, and they also have amazing things. In fact, people come from out of town to go to that place and find really unusual, kooky, fun gifts and things there too. And I don't know the name of it, but it's next to Electro Music, which is a whole other story that people from out of town freak out about. They're like, is this real? And is it open? And what's happening in there? So I just want to go back up to Camellia City Bakery. There's a bakery in town, and it's run by Miss Ann Judah, and that's also a place that's open for lunch, and she has some really great lunch specials and soups and lobster bisque and crawfish and, oh my God, just amazing fried pies, cupcakes, that sort of a thing. So putting all of this together, if you walk around town for one day, I think there's a bit of a freak out. People have a bit of a freak out because they cannot believe how idyllic it is, how nice the people are. If you walk around Greenville and you say, hey, I'm just visiting here, people will like, oh, move here. You should move here. Like, I'm not the only one who does. I do it, but I'm not the only one who does it. In fact, you could just walk into the Chamber of Commerce any day over by the train, what is in the old train depot, and Tracy Salter or Courtney will, give you all kinds of information about Greenville and just welcome you to the town. They're amazing too. So and when you sit with us, we will tell you our stories. If you sit with us, these locals from Greenville, we'll welcome you, we'll talk to you, and then we'll start telling you our dirt. We can't help it. We do. We tell you stuff. We tell on ourselves. But what it is I think we just love this town, and we love the people in it, and we love our own kookiness, and we love our own characters of this town, and we're proud of them. And dead or alive, we'll tell stories on them, and it's because we know how special we are, and we want to share that with other people. So, yeah, it has been it's been quite a year, and I've been thinking back on all the stories that have happened, and just how magical this Christmas season is here in Greenville, Alabama. I don't know where you live. I don't know if you could just swing by. You may be listening from far away. Put us on your radar. Think about the Camellia City, Greenville, Alabama. Are you thinking about moving your business from somewhere that you are no longer enjoying? Do you have a business that might fit in our tiny little town? Start doing some research. Reach out to us, any of us, the mayor, the Chamber of Commerce, me. I'll point you in some sort of direction. It may not be the right one, but and also, if you know anybody at Hallmark, get them out of stop making movies in Canada, and come on down to Greenville, Alabama, the original Camellia City. We're the reason Alabama is the Camellia State. And look, the thing that I left out that I probably should, and I've talked about a lot, is the reason why. There's a good reason that we're called the Camellia City. We're covered in historic camellia bushes. Some of those are probably the most rare in the world because of how they started, and some were imports from Japan that are still living today. So we have a camellia history that no other place has. It's just so special. So thank you for listening to me ramble about the most magical town in Alabama. Before I leave, I just want to give you my Christmas blessing to you guys, no matter where you are, but especially to those people in the Camellia City. I write a weekly column in our local newspaper, the Greenville Standard. We have two newspapers, the Greenville Advocate and the Greenville Standard. Both are amazing. But this one was a little bit different because usually I write about health issues. But this time I just wanted to write a Christmas blessing to everybody in town and to you, whoever you are, and from wherever you're listening. So, excuse me. Just the other day, I was going over my Christmas list, and I wondered what Christmas gift I would get every single person I know. That is, if I could afford to buy you all presents. Doesn't everyone wish they could have those Oprah moments, where you see yourself saying, you get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car too? God, I would love that. Unfortunately, I'm not able to do that just yet, but I would like to offer a small gift for Christmas to everyone here in Greenville and elsewhere. So for this Christmas, my wish for you is that you remember the reason we celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. That you feel close to God and know that He will never leave you. That you take a moment to count your blessings and help someone less fortunate. That you feel peace and love and give back to others every chance you get. That your heart is filled with joy and your belly is filled with food cooked with love. That you see Christmas spirit everywhere you look. That you heal from all ailments, physical or emotional. That you smile and laugh a lot. that you see the possibilities everywhere in this magical town, and that you never have trouble turning left from the Superfoods parking lot. So, Merry Christmas. I love you. And listen, now that my classes are kind of different now, I'll be able to up the podcast and get back to it and loving this little town. Come visit us in Greenville, Alabama, and have a Merry Christmas. Love you. Mwah.